No, that's perfect. I think we should restart that. That was a little bit too depressing even for me.
I'll just cut it.
Hey, well, let's do it. Do you want to do it in unison? 1, 2, 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen,
SleepyTime
to the
podcast.
SleepyTime podcast.
Coming from a local basement near you.
Probably not a local basement,
Probably
but I
not.
mean, if Jack's our only listener, then maybe,
Could be
the only listener.
Could be possible. So, Gabe, I wonder if we're getting good levels. We are, I think.
I mean, if not, I'll have to figure it out,
1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Oh my God, that hurt me.
Is it that loud?
It's only loud for my headphones.
I don't know how to help you.
It's all right. I can vibe.
Yeah. So anyway, Gabe, what the fuck are we? I feel like we've been having good conversations all night.
Yeah, but they're mostly personal.
Yeah, they are.
There's nothing that
I'm comfortable sharing my personal experiences on the web, but I
don't know.
understand if you're hesitant to, because the web is a scary place,
I don't know if I'd share like I've been asking very personal questions. We've been drinking also.
We have
for a long time.
It's been a minute.
It's been about 4 hours, maybe 5, honestly.
Yeah.
Of us drinking. It's like what, 2 a.m. right now? Let me check my Apple
Watch.
Watch.
It's 1:56.
It's 2 a.m.
actually.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
We're in a basement right now.
We're in our basement.
We just moved into a new home.
Yes.
We're very happy to reside in it currently. There's no AC, so we're taking shelter in the basement of the residence to avoid the heat wave that's approaching East Lansing, Michigan at the moment.
It is on us, actually.
It is upon us. I'd say it's awful. I'd say it feels like a Saharan desert.
It's about
outside.
90 degrees,
but more humidity
every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the desert has not a lot of humidity.
It's a dry heat.
Yeah.
It's
a very wet heat here.
Yeah, it is.
Outside.
It's like Alabama type beat.
I like to describe it as you get in the shower and you put it on very cold, and then you get out of the shower and it's like you never took a shower in the first place.
It is. It's like you're consistently wet throughout the day.
All the time. You're just constantly moist.
I've become so accustomed to it, I feel almost like the North or South American alligator.
Yeah. Are reptiles, do they sweat?
They're cold-blooded. I don't believe they sweat.
So they don't become moist?
I think that they need to try and get warm because they're naturally cold. So
naturally.
Naturally.
Get a grip.
They're naturally cold, so they need to bask in the sun to achieve warmth.
Okay. Interesting.
That's why snakes and lizards
they
tend
just
to
sit out in the sun.
Just chill out,
I don't know. I feel like a reptile,
Yeah, a bit like our reptile overlords.
Yeah, exactly.
The ones running the state.
If Mark Zuckerberg, the big Zuck.
Yeah.
But if reptiles could sweat, that's what I would be.
Yeah, a sweaty reptile.
I'd be a sweaty reptile.
I found out today that there's invasive chameleons living in South Florida, and they look sick. I used to be obsessed with chameleons when I was a kid. I always wanted a pet chameleon.
Yeah.
And seeing the fact that they just live in the wild invasively throughout southern Florida. Back to the Jewel ASMR podcast. Sorry for interrupting. God, you just... Awful.
Sorry.
You just make me want it. I can't even look at you.
Do you want another? Do you want a rip?
Yeah.
Here, reach over the table. There you go. This is like Adam and Eve, ladies and gentlemen. Or no, not Adam and Eve.
Michelangelo something or another.
No, it's Michelangelo, the hand, I'm making this up, the hand of God, the hand of life.
The loving touch, the loving diddle.
You ever just think we're in a basement in East Lansing?
I don't often think that, but
I mean right now.
Recently I have been thinking that.
It's 2 a.m. We're talking into microphones.
Automatic. Still is.
Automatic. Still is. Brett Kavanaugh. Is that his name? Chris Kavanaugh? No, Brett Kavanaugh. Yeah. All Catholic Girls High School. Automatic. Still is. So, Justice, since our last recording, what was that? 4 months ago? 3 months ago?
I don't think... well, we had one recording that we had to cut because the audio just wasn't that great.
Yeah. So what have you been up to, buddy?
Good God, man. I haven't been up to anything. I moved back in with my parents because my lease ended. Didn't have anywhere else to go. But they've been gone, so I've just been house sitting. Pretty lit, honestly. Hang out by the pool. smoke some dope. What more could you ask for, really?
Yeah.
I had you guys over for some euchre games.
Who's you guys? Like me?
You and Matt,
The other
and
listeners?
Pat, and
AKA?
Jack. We had Jack over.
Yeah, Jack's are on
Our
the
listeners
shout
are
out,
very
shout out
familiar
Jack.
with
Yeah.
Jack. Yeah,
Yeah.
good guy. Good guy. He's moving in with us soon. He's our third roommate. Gabe,
That was loud.
how do you? Yeah, that was loud for me.
That hurt me.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
I need to keep it smooth radio voice.
Yeah, get the radio voice in there.
So, how do you feel about your new living arrangement, Gabe?
Well,
Would you like to explain to the
yeah.
listeners what your new living situation is?
So I'm currently living in the living room, and I mean it's called the living room, so you'd think that somebody should normally live in there.
You would
know?
think that. You
Like
would think
that's
that.
if they call it the living room, but I guess that's like a communal living space.
Yeah.
So like if people join together communally, maybe like a commune, you could say, in the living room.
The living area, perhaps.
Yeah, living area. But I'm living there personally, so maybe it's a singular living room. You know.
I have a question. Oh, well, you finish your spiel about what
Well,
the situation is.
Basically, I bought a curtain, putting it up on the wall, and I'm living where people usually sit and watch TV.
Yeah.
Maybe converse, discuss politics,
Perhaps.
the state of the nation.
Not really.
No, but maybe.
This isn't really that kind of household, I think.
I would disagree.
Well, you're a passionate man.
I am a passionate man on many topics.
I try to just not make waves,
Waves of what?
conflict or any kind of disagreement. I try not to impose my viewpoints on others because I don't have a lot of faith in my viewpoints because I try to have some sort of sense of self-analyze and self-analytics, I try to look at myself and I can realize that a lot of my points are probably based in bias,
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. But
So-
I feel like, what true opinions do you have, then?
That's a good question. That's a question I don't even know if I know the answer to.
Yeah, because if you say that you don't like
Depends on what the topic is.
politics.
Like, give me a topic. I think
Politics.
that we're getting ass blasted from the left and the right, and there's no good way to go about politics because if you give people that much power, they're going to abuse it. I think it's human nature.
I would like to agree.
Yeah.
What about
Give me some hard-hitting topics.
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
What do you think I would flounder at? Give me something you think I have a controversial opinion about.
that was really hard to get out.
It was. I think I might be having a stroke.
How about the state of the media industry? What do you think?
That's an interesting. Jesus Christ.
Do you want to restart that?
That's an interesting. You gotta leave that in.
No, I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Keep
That's an
that.
interesting question, Gabe.
Would you like to wait? Articulate your words a little bit better.
That's a very interesting question, Gabe.
Oh, why? Thank you. I very much appreciate
Yes,
it.
I think that the media is taking the place of any other form of propaganda in the United States of America. I think that there's no media that isn't biased at the moment. And I think it's unreasonable to ask news outlets to have an unbiased opinion because we're all humans and we all have biases. You know what I
Every
mean?
single individual, yeah.
And it's hard, I would argue almost impossible to have an unbiased opinion.
Especially in the state of the current union, one could say.
One could say that.
Yeah.
One would agree with that. One being me.
And me, I'd say.
And you, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that everyone's got their panties in a wad, and I just don't care.
Okay, it's a little.
Is it?
For me, personally.
I know. Well, you care a lot, and that's why, you care enough for the both of us.
Okay, that's good. I
And-
like that.
And I'll still do my part. I'm still gonna go vote.
And
this
you're
November.
registered, yes?
I am. I didn't vote last year, or the year before.
That's not all right, but that's okay. At
I
least
know.
you're honest.
I'm honest about it.
Yeah.
I'm a shithead.
Did
but
you vote? Did you vote in the Michigan primaries?
I didn't because I was confused because I don't know how to vote because I didn't vote last 2 years, and I
Can
thought that I
help-
had to.
Can I help you?
We've already had a conversation. Did we
I
already
know.
have a conversation?
Yes,
about
but
this?
can I help you tomorrow?
Sure. Is there stuff tomorrow that I got to do?
No. Tomorrow we can both make sure that you are registered to vote.
I am registered. I have my voter card in my wallet.
And then do you have?
I just have to go to Edgewood Church.
Okay. Do you have an absentee ballot? Or are you
No,
going
but don't
to
I
the
not?
church?
Isn't Michigan one of the places where you don't need one?
Yes, but what I do is I get the absentee, and then we drive to the clerk's office, and my uncle drops it off for us.
But can I just go in person and vote instead of all that?
Yeah, but wouldn't you just not want to talk to or see any human?
It's
during
honestly
COVID?
easier than organizing absentee mail shit.
Oh,
Like
I
the US,
promise.
like mail is the most confusing thing. I've changed my address maybe 3 times in the past year, and it has never ended well.
Well, so what you can do? I can help you. I'll help you no matter what.
Yeah,
And
I know you
like,
will.
Yeah.
You always got my back.
Yeah. Especially with politics, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you were gonna say something earlier, and I completely derailed.
What was I gonna say?
We were talking about the living room situation. You said, blah blah blah, and then you said, oh, continue with your.
Oh, I was just gonna say, we have this very large. We're in a basement right now. If we didn't mention that.
If you can hear the echo, I don't know if you can.
It's a very wet room, I'd say. But we're planning on kind of setting up our own audio recording studio so we can do audio and video podcasting for this podcast because we care about you guys so much. We're very few listeners, but we wanted to set up both a voice recording booth and a instrument recording booth. So we're gonna have I have a set of drums from an old residence that I'm planning on moving in, and I got my guitar and bass set up down here. Very excited to move it all in and kind of get situated. Very excited to kind of just get situated.
Yeah, you want to re-say that one more time?
Where did I start?
It's very excited to get situated.
I'm just very excited to get situated. I think our new living situation has a lot of potential, even though we have the slight hiccup of having our living room blocked off, but I think we're going to make up for it with our downstairs lounge area.
Who's doing that? I would never imagine.
Well, my good sir, I think, honestly, I know you're the only one without a door and a wall in your bedroom, but I'm low-key kind of jealous.
Do you want it? Do you want it?
I don't know.
You can keep my curtains.
I don't know.
I'm joking.
The only thing that I envy is the intense sunlight that you have coming into your room all the time. And it really brightens the mood.
I know how much I love it.
Yeah, I would never make you give that up because I know you feast on sunlight. It powers you.
I do.
Like it's really just your fuel to get things done throughout the day. What are you recording?
I'm trying to do a thumbnail.
Trying to do a thumbnail?
Yeah, move your right hand. Move your right hand.
Do a landscape.
Well, it's gonna be square no matter what.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, that's true. But yeah, man. I think we got it good. I think we're gonna turn this house into a home.
Are you kidding me? It's already a home.
It is already a home.
This house is a friggin' home.
Also, I've told you this so many times, Gabe, but I'm just glad to be living in the same house as you again. You know, we started this podcast living separately in different residences, and it was kind of hard, you know. Didn't really have any time to record, and when we did hang out, we kind of got sidetracked by stuff, which is
alcohol, drinking.
Yeah. But now we get to enjoy those delicacies plus each other's company in a
confined
recorded
space.
Audio setting.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we've lived together 2 years in the past.
Yeah, so this is our 3rd year living together.
This is our 3rd year, and we are fully now acquainted. I'd say as close to a marriage as two mostly straight men can get. Honestly, that's how I like to personally describe it.
Same.
Yeah.
Honestly,
it's very we very much understand.
Yeah, this house might as well be Chicago because city of brotherly love, bro.
Is that what I thought that was San Francisco?
No, I think that's the Windy City, actually.
Windy City is Chicago.
Which one is the
Windy
city of
Chicago?
Is that Minnesota or Minneapolis?
Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. What is the city of brotherly love?
Here's some information.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. I was completely wrong.
That's very wrong, but that's all right.
Wait, let me read it. We might as well be the city of Philadelphia because this house is the location for brotherly love.
I'm not cutting the rest out. That you and I also would just like to say that you thought Chicago was not the Windy City. And that's
I knew Chicago was the Windy City. I've been there. It's very windy.
But you said, "Is that Chicago?" And then you said, "Wait."
I had the worst time of my life in Chicago.
You did, yes.
Yeah. Save that for another time, though.
Yeah, definitely. But
I've probably already told it on the podcast.
No, I don't think you have.
I
don't think so. I mean, no offense. I've heard
it
a
lot.
lot. I've heard it enough where I feel like.
Yeah, you lived with me for 2 years. You've probably heard it like tens of times.
But also, I don't think you've said it on the podcast. We'll definitely talk about it later. This is gonna be such a bitch to edit. There's so much just
Rambling?
nothing. Yeah.
It's okay. You know, that's what I like about it.
What's your favorite religious rebellion?
Religious rebellion.
Yeah. In the whole forever.
You know, I'm not very educated on religious history.
Neither am I.
But
yeah,
you're talking about religious rebellion or religious like a war, like the Crusades?
Well, mine was going to be the Crusades.
Yeah, I just feel like that's a cop-out answer for me. Like, I feel like I could come up with something better if I knew more. But
Oh,
I feel like
definitely.
Crusades is like it's a default answer. There's so many of them too. It's like, you know,
It's
for like 13 Crusades or something like that.
I mean, I feel like
Where they just went and slaughtered Muslims for no fucking reason.
yeah. I
They
feel
were just like, hey, you're not Catholic, time to die.
I feel like a lot of wars are based on religion though, and money, religion and money. Which
Wars are fought over the most ridiculous things. I mean, says me, the 20-year-old from Michigan.
21.
Who
You're
knows
21
nothing.
now.
I am 21.
He's 21 now.
Guys, I'm 21 now.
He
I'm
is.
legally able to be doing all the things I did before I was 21.
Yeah, but he was 21 the whole time,
I
right?
was 21. I've been
Uh,
21 for years,
Yeah.
if you think about it.
Oh, also, big news. Dad
Yeah.
died. My dad died.
Yeah, Gabe's dad died.
He did.
He was a good man.
He was. He passed away unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. That happened about a month ago.
Yeah.
You know, I watched Killing Eve. I've been watching Killing Eve.
Really just going to
Oh no, wait.
hop. Oh, is this connected?
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
go for it.
And so there's a scene where somebody dies, and then one of the main characters was like, I'm very bad with grief. I'm fine right now, but in 2 years, I know I'm going to have a complete mental and physical breakdown about this.
Yeah.
And I said, ha, I know what you mean, lady.
Yeah. Look at that big fucking bug on the ground. Not to distract from your dead dad.
I mean, there's been a lot of distracting. What is that?
I don't want to know.
I think it's a constant distraction.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what it is. That's what my life is now.
that's so wild, man.
It is pretty wild. What are your honest opinions? Let me hear
About your
it.
dad?
No, just about the whole situation. I'd love to hear a third person view.
About your grief or your
Everything.
just your loss?
I mean, you know me. I'm not going to take anything
I know.
personally.
The only thing that really gets me is the fact that, like, I know you and your dad weren't the most close,
Yeah.
and I don't know if this is true. Feel free to correct me, but I feel like you had some sort of hope that you guys would be closer later on in life.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
now that's just gone. And there's no way to replace that.
I mean, that's definitely.
And that's the main thing I empathize with. Is just like unable to right past wrongs or
future possibilities. Yeah.
exactly. Like it's hard to just like the fire was just stomped out.
Yeah. Immediately without knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I only met him like twice, but
I think
he seemed like an honorable guy. Like it's hard for me to know because he's not my dad. But
no, of course. I think you met him a few more. Maybe I don't know
it's like
actually.
two or three times, I think.
Yeah.
But every time I talked to him, he was very polite, a little reserved. But the first time, like, I ever came over to your house with him there, he was like, he walked up to me and he held out his hand. He said, "I'm Noah. You taking good care of my son?" And I said, "Yeah, of course."
Yeah.
And I was like, that's his first priority in meeting me. He's making sure I'm taking care of you, which is, it hit me hard thinking about it in retrospect the past couple weeks. But
That's everybody who came up to me at the memorial, I guess. Also, FYI, we had a very small memorial. Everybody was
very
wearing
nice.
masks. It was beautiful, I think. But everybody was wearing masks. We were being very safe. I'm a very COVID heavy person. I don't take it lightly. But everybody who came up, it was like they all knew who I was just because he talked about me so much.
yeah,
Which was just like, oh, that fucking is crazy.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, the biggest thing I would say is just the thought of, like you said, like, the only thing that has ever really got me, and it only hits like every few hours every day, which I know sounds like a lot, but
no, I know.
there hasn't been like
It's not constant.
exactly, and there
It's
hasn't been
waves.
a big sweep of emotions yet. It's just every few hours for a few minutes, it's like, holy shit, I'm never going to see him again. There's no, this, just like I said in my speech, like, it's just done.
Yeah,
and there's nothing we can do about it.
Do you have any sense of gratitude that he's may finally be at peace?
I mean, like I wrote in the speech, and like I said, I think 100%. Yeah. And everybody who's listening, it's been a long experience with my father.
Yeah.
And so I think, he's a 100% disabled vet, or he was, and a lot more.
And I mean, you could tell by talking to the guy that he had pain.
Yeah, just constant.
Like, not even just physical, just like I get the same, not that it's really comparable, but talking to Jack when he was going through rehab, it was like the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
You could tell that he was struggling, and not in a bad way, just like there's nothing you can do about it. Like, it's just the way it is, and he was fighting it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then imagine that for 45 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Or not even, no, 30 years. He was very young. I always forget about that.
I'd consider a fucking year living in his shoes too long.
Yeah.
Like, he lasted longer than I feel like most people would in his situation.
Yeah. I mean,
he was a trooper for sure. Like, even having just met him a few times, I could tell that he was like...
Well, he was
a badass.
Oh, my God, yeah. Yeah, and I
that's why I wish... when I first met your dad, I was trying to get my dad to be like, hey, you should talk to him, because I feel like you'd enjoy talking to him.
Exactly.
He's like the only guy that I know personally that could blow my dad's stories out of the water.
Oh, my God, yeah. The shit that he said.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And that's another thing, too. I just wish I could have heard some of his fucking stories.
Yeah.
Like, what he has gone through. Also, we apologize about the cricket in the background.
It's okay. It's soothing white noise.
Exactly, yeah. And if you're listening to us falling asleep, which we know...
It's SleepyTime podcast.
Exactly, yeah. That's just very heavy topics for
It
SleepyTime, but that's how SleepyTime is.
You know, that's when you think about the heavy shit is when you're going to bed.
Exactly.
When you got nothing else, you're just staring at the ceiling.
Exactly.
But
yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot more recently.
Honestly, I wish I could have gotten to know him better. Because I had so much fun talking to him when we talked that one time.
Yeah.
And I remember he was like, oh, you should come to the shop that one time. I'm like, I understand he's a busy guy, so we never got around to it, but I wish I would have taken him up on that. You know? It's just one of those things that, you get the opportunity once. Exactly. And you don't take it. And
yeah, the main thing definitely is just I wish, and I think this is with, I shouldn't say that with my whole family, but just I wish I would have been there more. You know what I mean? The main thing to think about, and this probably sounds real sad, but it still hasn't hit me yet.
Yeah.
The last time I hugged him, every single time I hugged him, I felt nervous, you know, because he was a very intense man.
He was.
Know? Very, very intense. And so every single time I hugged him or talked to him, I was always nervous. And now it's I just wish I could go back and say, hey, just give him that little extra squeeze, you know? This is the last time you're ever going to see your dad.
Yeah. And I don't want to stir the pot or anything, but since that happened, I've been trying to be nicer to my family.
That's fantastic.
And my dad and I had never been super close on a personal level, but I was telling you, I was trying to get him to open up the other day.
Was that because of their client?
It was that, and just a combination of, I know my dad, but I don't know. Some people are just closed off to the point where you have to try and open them up, or else they'll never do it by themselves.
Yeah.
And my dad is like that, and I talked to him about it, and I was a little drunk, so he kind of wrote me off, but we talked about it later, and it was I want to, you shouldn't feel guarded around me.
Yeah.
As your dad, as my dad. I think you should just talk to me like I'm a friend.
Not even a friend, just a close.
Exactly, family.
Anything. Yeah, exactly.
My dad and I have talked as if we were close before, but sometimes he just kind of diverts the conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get him to face his, I guess, insecurity maybe. I don't know. He was raised, my mother and I were talking about this the other day. His dad was very hypercritical of him, and his mom was kind of not the best mother you could be to 5 kids at the age of 22.
Yeah.
So he's got
Sounds-
walls up. He definitely has walls up, and I just want to try and dissolve those walls before I don't have the chance to
Yeah, exactly.
anymore. You know, like I want to get to know who he actually is. I mean, we did that on the Death Valley trip we took that one spring break, but it's like there's still more in there. I know.
Well, there's always going to be more.
Like I want him to talk. I guess not exactly, but I want him to feel as comfortable around me as he feels around my mom, because I know they talk about stuff all the time. It's like I want him to be able to talk to me about it.
Well, tell him that.
I have,
Yeah.
and he's working on it. He's
Good.
just a little cagey sometimes.
I mean, aren't we all, honestly?
Listeners, hug your parents if you got them.
Yeah, people, and I don't know, I know that not many people listen to this, but like, if you've experienced death or close death, it's just like, people just die.
They do.
And
They're
they're
gone
just,
forever.
Yeah,
You
nothing.
can't say anything to them ever again.
Yeah,
So say what you want to say while you still got them.
exactly. Don't put it off.
Yeah.
That is the thing, though, like you were saying, I think my family, I have become a lot closer to my mom, my aunts, my
Yeah.
grandma, my grandpa.
Taking it less for granted than.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
And we spent 2 whole weeks together, just constantly.
I love that, man.
Yeah. It made me very
I was happy when you said that.
Yeah.
When you're like, I'm going to go hang out with family for a week.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems, I don't know. To a younger me, it might seem trivial, but now I understand.
And I mean, you knew me a few months ago where it was like, I'd just yell at my mom about politics
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't think it's like that anymore. Because, you know, people are different. And that's all right.
Yeah.
It's not. You should try to understand the differences
Yeah.
before you just attack. I feel like that cricket is just.
I like it.
While we're recording?
That's whatever. You know, we don't have a high quality podcast.
I know,
It's
but
just-
that's like, for me, even talking, it's like, oof.
It reminds me of being at home in the rural areas of Southfield. But that and I wish we had some bullfrogs around here. I miss falling asleep to bullfrog noises every night.
Or what are those massive birds that make really loud noises? It sounds like a monster.
That's a good question.
Do you
Like
know-
in the morning or the night or
No,
what?
night. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The only birds at night I know of are the ones I saw in Australia that shit all over me on the island. Good luck.
It's kind of cool.
It was very
How-
cool.
how-
They sounded like ghosts. It was like
birds.
they were like very creepy sounding.
Yeah, no, the ones that I was talking about before,
Yeah.
they sound like dying birds. Like in the middle of, I don't know what the fuck they're called.
We have them in Michigan?
Yeah. They was like 30 minutes away from here, from MSU's campus,
Yeah.
where my grandparents lived. You'd be laying in bed at night and just hear like people screaming. When I
Yeah.
was a kid, I'd freak out, and it was like, oh no, it's just a blah 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 bird. But I
The only
forget.
thing I can equate to that is hearing loons in the UP. My uncle used to be terrified of them because he thought they were werewolves, and he would sleep in his truck.
How
Because we were
old,
sleeping in tents at the time. we
how,
were building
how
a
old
cabin.
was this person
Old enough.
to not be scared of werewolves?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a
He's a
Michigan
giant
thing.
pot smoker though, so
Ah,
it makes sense.
yeah, it does
I
make
get it.
sense.
I understand,
I get it. I don't know if I understand.
and it's okay.
It is okay.
Yeah, but oh my god. Speaking of, we need to. I might
Where's
take
this-
the initiative on
Where's this going?
renting the cottage my dad built in
Oh.
the UP just so we can hang out there, so I can show you.
Wait, he already
honestly.
built a cottage?
He built a cottage when I was like 6 in the UP.
Oh, but he sold it and now it's for rent.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he sold it to people and they're renting it out. So we were thinking about just renting it for a weekend. But
That'd be odd.
also, I think I told you about this. I got like 20 something hours of tapes converted
No, you did.
from like 1999 to 2000. I want to say like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
Insanity.
I
Like,
bet.
It's weird looking at your younger self, like in such a weird third person perspective.
Especially from the perspective of your parents too.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
exactly. And
I don't know,
seeing,
man.
I think it's interesting to analyze the way our parents raise us, and there's a large part of our lives where we just don't remember how our parents tried to raise us. But it was interesting going back and seeing just how they tried to form me as a person and where it ended up.
We're all just a bunch of fucking silly, buddy, man.
We are make your imprints and die.
Yep.
But
some people don't even make imprints.
I saw I think I told you about this. I saw a video of me on one of those tapes. It's like a 20-minute video of me when I'm like 8 years old, maybe. Probably younger than that. And I have a guitar. It's the first guitar I ever owned. And I am a relatively talented guitarist now. I play a decent amount.
I'll back that up.
Yeah. I'm not a pro or anything, but I enjoy it heavily. But I saw a video the other day of my younger self playing guitar and my mother telling me I couldn't stop playing until I played this song one more time. It's kind of hard to watch, you know. It's like I was like a little kid crying because I didn't want to play guitar anymore. My mom's like, you can take a break. You got to play that song one more time.
Yeah.
Because it'll make you a good guitar player. And, you know, it's crazy how you hold those things against your parents when you're younger. Because it's like, I don't want to do that. Like, stop making me do stuff. And then you get older and you realize it was really for your benefit.
Maybe not even for your benefit. I feel like a lot of stuff, because I mean, I'm the same way. Like, if I was a kid and I was forced to do something, it's like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. If somebody's telling me I should like it, why would I like it, you know?
Very contrarian children.
Yeah, definitely.
I think most children are contrarian.
I'd say a good amount. I mean, I have no basis.
I know I was. That's the only basis I have for it.
Me as well.
But yeah, it's interesting. And now I can look back and say that guitar is something that helped me like deal with depression and stuff because it's something to progress in.
It took 10 years to come back to it, though?
Yeah, and I mean, I did start playing. I played a little bit in high school, and then I stopped, and then college came, and I picked it back up because I was just horribly depressed. And I was like, it's just something that I can feel productive doing and also enjoy without a sense of needing to be at a certain goal. You know, it's just like a relaxing thing to do. And I wouldn't have had that if I hadn't been pushed by my parents when I was younger, even though I hated it.
I mean, some could say that was a hobby. A good hobby.
I mean, it wasn't a hobby until I started enjoying it.
Exactly, yeah.
It was just a chore.
Exactly. I mean, that's how violin has always been for me. That's why every time you talk about playing violin, it's like...
a chore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, 12 years straight of an hour and a half a day.
Yeah.
Not being forced to play, but like, this is what you're going to do. Yeah, exactly. Being
told basically that it's good for you. You have to do it. You should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I never hold it against you when you don't want to play violin. It's just like, I get it.
I like listening to music. I don't know if I'm...
I think you could be very musically talented.
Oh, I mean...
I think you got the brain for it.
You know what sticks with me a lot?
What?
When Jack in California was like, Gabe, you must really understand music. Because every single time the song changes or the beat changes, you come back and you move perfectly along the beach. Do you remember that?
You got a good musical sense, I'd say.
I mean, I was taught music theory and taught how to read music, and
I mean, you're ahead of me. I don't know how to read music. I don't know music theory at all. I just wing it.
I mean, as long as you enjoy it, fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, I don't want to impose or anything, and I always say this, but you'd be damn good at fiddle.
Oh, I mean,
like if you put in like 2.5 hours a week, you'd be a fucking ace in a month. But it's just one of those things where it's like I mean, you understand motivation and how hard it is to sometimes motivate yourself to do, and you already got a shit ton of stuff on your plate.
I just got to get the itch for it. Whatever I get the itch for, I put myself forward.
Exactly, and the same thing with guitar. Like I haven't played in a few days, but now just talking about it,
you want to play.
It's like I want to play.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't know if you ever got this when you're a little kid and you're like, your mom's like, all right, time to take a shower. You're like, I don't want to take a shower. Or like, I don't want to take a bath. And then you take a bath and you're like, this is great.
I always thought it was like, why am I feel like I could be doing so many other things right now.
And I think we both have that sense of urgency for time management.
Yeah.
I think you more so than me, but well, you tend to actually follow through on it. Like you're like, this is my time and I will do this with it. But for me, I just hoard time and I don't do anything with it. Like I'm just lazy with it, you know? Like I'm like, I don't want to spend time doing that because I won't enjoy it. And then I spend 4 hours on TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's whatever people do.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But very interesting.
And I don't know where I got the, I was talking, I don't know if I told you this. I was talking to my grandparents.
Yeah.
And they said when I was a little kid, I used to make day-to-day lists of everything that I would do every day. And then the next day and the next day. And then I must have stopped doing that during high school, completely forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And then during college, beginning of college, started to make lists again. Because, I make lists every fucking day now of like what I have to do. And it's just kind of, I was like, holy shit, I never knew.
I picked that up from you, dude. I bought a fucking Post-it note set because of you.
Yeah. And I need lists every day to know what I am doing, or else I will not do it.
I used to think I didn't need it. And then I realized that my life's extremely disorganized, and a little bit of organization never hurt nobody. I just do it I just set reminders for everything on my phone.
Yeah. I mean, I just put on my notes app.
Calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty helpful. And Matthew, God, you guys are so similar. I had the same conversation with Matthew the other day about how time management is just key to being productive in stuff you want to do and also stuff you have to do.
But what do you have to do, Justice?
Work, support yourself, and then somehow you have to find a balance between that and
personal enjoyment.
Yeah.
Family,
like
friends.
I mean, the podcast, we put off recording and editing the podcast a lot, but we always enjoy it, or I always enjoy it. I enjoy it,
especially when it's the finished product.
Yeah. And you get to put it out there, and I don't know. I'm always proud of it.
Yeah.
Like, just the fact that we did it.
Exactly.
It might not be the best podcast in the world, but we got off our asses and we set up the gear and we recorded a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Even
if nothing else, if for no other reason than for memory's sake.
Yeah. I mean, this will be interesting to listen to in 20, 30, 40 years?
God knows, yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. Gabe and Justice in however many decades.
You better still be friends, you assholes.
Yeah, I hope so.
Better not let some dumb shit get between you.
Yeah, we just moved in together for third year. Took a year hiatus. It was kind of
awful.
No, I wouldn't say awful. I'd just say odd.
It was
for both of us.
For me.
Yeah, it was just something, and for a plethora of different reasons. But we're now moved into a house that is quickly becoming a home. I might add.
It's hot as hell, but goddamn, it's homey.
Goddamn, it is. It's hot in both criteria.
Yeah, and so we're in the basement.
Exactly. Yeah, remember this. Unless you're dead, then...
Talking to me or you?
Yeah, both of us.
No, neither one of us better be dead.
Who knows? People just die.
Yeah. Just glad I got the random chance to meet you, honestly.
No, you haven't said it like that. Because I agree.
I don't know. Out of all the people I could have been in a room with.
Yeah.
Like, everyone on our floor, freshman year, besides Jack, was like, I would not have wanted to be, like, roommates with them.
I would agree.
I think we got the best possible scenario.
Yeah, what are the fucking odds?
Yeah.
Honestly. Wild.
It's weird. It makes me question
everything.
American security and
not even security. It makes me question if this is all real or not.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, we were talking earlier about how a simple, like, I was talking about my friend Matthew, how he moved to Florida and because his dad was in construction, and then like the following year they moved back. Everyone was like, oh, Matthew's back. But they didn't realize that their whole family was broke because of
the crash.
They put all their money into building houses in Florida, and then the housing crash happened. But I was like, I never would have known Matthew if the housing crash never happened, which is an insane thing to think. I'm sure his dad's bitter about it to this day, but at least
who knows?
At least I have one of three friends that I can, and same thing with you. It's like just one thing could happen we never would have met. But
I mean, there's so many different things that set me up at least to go right to that point and to every point. Like we were talking about with COVID, I would not be here if it wasn't for COVID. You know what I mean? And I don't know what the fuck I'd
do. You think you would have applied to get a master's if it weren't for COVID?
I don't think so at all. Not at all. Yeah. The only thing...
Because you just ran out of time to plan, right?
Yeah. I just freaked out. I was just so lost.
Yeah.
And one of my professors DM'd me during a Zoom meeting and said, hey, are you doing grad school? And then after class I said... Because I thought it was... He's like, hey, I have a question. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm in trouble. And he's like, are you doing grad school or are you thinking about it? And I was like, not at all. And he said, I think you should because you'd be a very good professor or you just do very well with research. And then in the next week and a half, I think, I was in the grad program.
Yeah.
So.
Good on you, man. That's some good effort and luck, honestly.
Both. I feel like it all depends on the professors you have as well, and unlike, of course, it's the people you surround yourself by. But I remember having a professor freshman year who really got me into learning, and I had never cared at all. And it was like, holy shit!
That's how I felt with Dr. Weaver.
Exactly.
Psychology. It was like, you make this interesting. You make me want to learn about it.
That's exactly the professor I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And he lives.
Shout out Dr. Weaver.
He lives 4 houses down from me.
Yeah.
With my parents. Isn't that just? I see him every 3 or 4 days.
Shout out that guy. Cool dude.
Yeah.
Cute kids. Nice wife.
Nice
Always
dog.
brags about his family in class.
Cute dog too. I see him walking all the time.
Yeah.
That's just
Also,
so weird that I saw him. Wow.
But I think you and I have both realized that we need to take advantage of the education we're paying for it. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if we already talked about this in the past podcast.
Oh, I mean, we've definitely talked about it.
It's like
together.
Just gotta. You're fucking gonna be in debt for it. You might as well use all the resources you can.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, are you gonna be in debt?
I'm not gonna be in debt. My parents are gracious enough to pay for my college.
I'll cut that out. Don't worry.
You don't have to. It's who I am.
I'm
not ashamed that my parents paid for my college.
Yeah.
They worked hard all their life for it, and I don't take it for granted.
That's true.
And sometimes I feel self-conscious about my parents paying for shit, but it's like, I don't know if I should.
Yeah.
You know, I know other people might judge me for it. But like, I don't know. Sometimes I worry about you judging me for my parents paying for shit. But I try not to rub it in people's faces or anything.
No, yeah, I think that's why I feel so okay with being close to you, because it's not like it's not like you're a very wealthy person or related at all to any wealth. Yeah. When I see like
my dad and my mom sold their business for a fair amount of money, but my dad has been working in the business that he sold since he was 17.
Yeah.
Like, the man's been working 80 hours a week since he was 17. So I know what hard work means. Like, I may not be the hardest worker ever, but I can at least understand and respect how hard my dad worked to get to where he is, and to not take advantage of that just for my own personal happiness. I don't know. Like, familial wealth handed down is such an odd thing. Or I feel like it's a touchy, like, money is just a touchy topic.
No, just in general, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I feel uncomfortable talking about money with most people.
I mean, me fucking too. Are you? Actually.
Well, you.
For some reason, I like to brag about my debt.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I've thought about that.
It's because you're self-sufficient. For the most part. Like, you take matters into your own hands.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have much to worry about, to be honest. Like, money-wise. Like, my parents pay for my college, and they help me out with other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't really have to worry about it. And I just have to make sure that I show them the gratitude that I feel towards them. And it's like I understand. And I don't want to just take the money and waste it on the college, drinking, doing drugs experience. Like, I want to try and get something out of it. Like, sure, I'm going to indulge in the other stuff, but I'm going to try and make sure that I
exactly
actually use the resources that they intended for me to get. And I feel bad, like, I went to private Catholic school my whole life, and I don't agree with the Catholic part of that, but I think the private part did me well. You know, like, I feel like I was more prepared for college because of it, and I completely took it for granted when I was younger. Like, I misbehaved in high school and shit, and caused all sorts of trouble for my parents, but they stuck by me, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
their job, but
I mean, as two,
you gotta respect it still, you know? It's like,
yeah,
they're obligated to, but at the same time, you gotta respect the fact that they didn't just give up.
I mean, it's two white men. We have more opportunities, more
to succeed in society.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's really interesting too, because like I went to a public school that is very well distinguished, but like my mom put me in the waiting list from the first month that I was born.
Yeah.
And then you went to a private school. My parents are both teachers, middle class. Your parents are entrepreneurs, self-made.
Business owners, yeah.
Exactly. It's
or
just
were, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, now they're
retired.
Yeah.
Finally.
Exactly. God. But I mean, my grandparents are not retired yet, and they're 70 something. Yeah, but like Julie, my grandma, fantastic woman.
Still working.
Yeah, she's doing freelance stuff though, just because sadly, like me, we both fucking love to work and just keep doing what we enjoy. Mike,
no shame in that.
I mean, we could talk on that for a long time.
Humans just feel the need to advance.
Well, in the past 60, 70 years, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe a little longer than that, but
Mike... It's a whole other podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, Mike just retired. He was a nurse, but he had been like 50 different things on my mom's side. Both of them are still patent attorneys. They're still working every single day, like no retirement in sight.
Yeah. And
it's just super interesting.
I think we both have, we were talking about this earlier, we both have disagreements with our parents about stuff, but at the end of the day, it's still come together and be like, I understand your point of view. I understand why you think this way, and I still love you. That's
the thing, though. Why do we, I guess that's kind of a dumb question, but like family, up until my dad passed away, it didn't make any sense to me. Like you just have these people that you're supposed to be close to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, why is that?
I think it's a little different between us two, because we have like a, I don't want to say super different, but kind of different family dynamic.
Oh, definitely.
Like, I don't know. I've always had the same, like I've had the same parents since birth, and you have a stepdad, and your dad kind of became a little bit estranged at one point, but
stepmom, mom, stepdad.
Yeah.
All of my grandparents on both sides are divorced. Everybody is divorced aside from a few people.
Yeah.
So it's always changing.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just like not being ashamed of what you've been privileged with.
Yeah.
Like privilege isn't something you should be ashamed of. It's just something you should be knowledgeable of.
Well, you should
use it for good.
Yeah. I might cut that out because I don't know enough to know if that's...
Man, it's my words. You can leave it in.
Okay.
If I become more educated about the subject later down the road, then
you'll change
I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
It's just revisionist history. I don't want to be part of that.
Yeah.
This is how I feel now. I might feel differently at a certain point in time, and I'm willing to own that.
I mean, I do agree that we should understand that we have been deeply privileged.
Yeah.
For a very long time on a various amount of levels.
Yeah.
And we should take advantage of that in the form of positive social, political, economic, environmental change.
Yeah. It sometimes like trips me out thinking about how my parents grew up compared to how I grew up. You ever think about that? Like, do you know much about your parents' upbringing?
I mean, my mom grew up with two parents that were very wealthy but never cared about her.
Yeah.
So they always just went on vacations, and she was raised by my grandparents, who were just like middle class factory workers.
Yeah, blue collar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Dad was raised by two hippies.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking about how my parents were raised. I mean, my mom's dad was an alcoholic, and her mom was schizophrenic, and she had 4 siblings to take care of because she was the oldest. And my dad's mom was an alcoholic, and his dad was super critical about everything he did. So I feel like he didn't feel like he could open up to anyone about anything.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to see. Like, sometimes I feel guilty about how little I've worked to get where I am. You know, like compared to my parents, because my dad just fucking worked his ass off. And my mom was with him every step of the way, helping him. So it's like, I mean, sure, I'm only 20 and I got a lot of shit
21.
to do in my life. 21. Keep forgetting. Happy birthday to me. But it's just like, I wish I could have their perspective on that. Like, I'm incapable of experiencing what they've experienced in life at this moment.
Yeah.
Which I kind of dislike. I wish I had that perspective to try and base my life and decisions around, because I feel like it's valuable information.
I'm going to go pee.
Okay.
Could you pause the recording? I mean, I just wrote a shit ton of essays about how individualism is the leading cause.
What is individualism to you?
I mean, I kind of explained it.
Yeah.
Just the need to be better than other people. Going against people, really. Tearing away from... And I don't want to sound like a traditionalist where I'd say, like, hey, we should all go back to, like, very small knit communities with religion and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think we should definitely focus more on the small things that make us happy, and our family, are definitely friends. I mean, just the things that truly make us happy instead of working to consume,
Yeah.
working to be better than other people, or just living to be better with everything. And that's, again, 21-year-old. That's me.
Yeah.
But
I've been trying recently to not focus on where I am and try and focus more on where I want to be. Because I feel like I get caught up thinking about
I personally,
you're so far from the goal you want to be at, where instead I should be focusing my energy on actually getting there instead of dwelling on the fact that I'm not close to my goal.
that's personally the opposite of what I do.
What do you do?
Like, I don't think about the future very much. I just think about if what I'm doing right now is something that I enjoy, and if I could enjoy it continuously.
Yeah.
And of course, like, it's just built into me, like, I need to get things done. But it's more so, like, am I happy? That's it.
Yeah. I think the main goal for me is just to find a way to have a sustainable method of happiness. And I mean, I'm very aware of the fact that I get in my own way a lot, you know? Like, I think a lot of us do.
Yeah.
But I guess it's kind of just the core issue you got to solve before you can move on to trying to, I mean, you got to have a foundation before you build a house,
Yeah.
you know? But
I mean, you can't, if you think about this is where I want to be, then you're just missing where you are. And that sounds so cheesy, but
Yeah.
like,
I think it depends on the thing. Like, the way I was thinking about it when I said that was, like, career-wise, like, skill-wise. Like, I mean, there's obviously a goal I have of where I want to be, like, short-term and long-term, but, I mean, obviously, it's hard to get there, so I'm not going to hold it against myself if I don't get there, but I am going to try and push myself to get there.
yeah.
I'm sure I should focus on where I am right now, but if where you are right now is not where you want to be, I feel like you should
Is
try
where
and
you are
focus
right
some
now-
energy.
Is where you are right now not where you want to be?
Personally, if we're talking about, like, career-wise / life-wise, I'd say I'm not where I want to be, because I have a hard time being satisfied with where I am, and I tend to dampen that. I tend to try and dull that fear / anxiety instead of working through it, which I think is, like, I don't know if it's a problem with other people, but I experience that a lot, where it's like, I have this problem, I know how to fix it, but I bury it so I don't have to worry about it. I think satisfaction is almost unattainable. I mean, depending on your life and what you believe in. I know my mom is very religious, and she feels very fulfilled with her life right now. Like, she feels like she's living to the best of her ability, but I think it's harder for people who don't really have a code of ethics or way to live their lives, or something concrete you can adhere to. Like, I feel like you and me kind of just got to figure it out. I don't know if you feel the same way, but we got to figure it out for ourselves. Like, we don't have anyone that can tell us how to feel fulfilled. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I live with emptiness. That sounds dumb. I live with the idea of there not being anything really. Like, there's nothing at all. There's no reason that we should be doing the things that we're doing. We've just made it that way.
yeah.
And so I try to push through that and find what actually makes me happy in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And that is like that fulfillment that I get from that, I think, outweighs any goal that I can set or any idea of what the future is, if that makes sense. Like, if I can find something that every day makes me a little bit happy naturally, then that will, even if I just stick in the same spot or whatever, then I'll be okay with that,
Yeah.
you know?
No, I know what you mean. It's just, for me personally, it's like there's a lot of things that make me feel good,
Yeah.
but how many of those things are good for me? Well, it's easy to feel good at the end of the day. It's not hard to feel good at the end of the day, but it's harder to feel fulfilled at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean?
Content,
Yeah. I just I think I think too much long term. Like I try to think, how will I make myself happy in a decade? You know, and that tends to get to me when I'm alone at night thinking about stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, is what I'm doing going to make me fulfilled in 10 years?
Interesting.
And it's hard to get perspective on that because I've been an adult for such a short period of time. I hesitate to even call myself an adult right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like I'm still
I just
12.
turned 21 and I feel like I'm a teenager still.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, how can I know that what I want is the right thing? I guess I just have like a persistent kind of self-doubt or self-questioning, you know what I mean? Like, is what I'm doing best for me? And sometimes I know it isn't, and I just tend to ignore it.
And do you base that righteousness, I guess, like morality, on the possibility of your future self? Like what your future self would think or what you think now?
I mean, I try to live my life in the moment for like a fair amount of things. Like, I've got a lot of tattoos, and I know I'm probably going to regret some of them when I'm older, but they mean a lot to me now, you know, and they're all memories that I can look back on. It's one of those things where I can say it might not be who I am now, but it's who I was then, and there's no shame in that. Like, people aren't meant to stay the same their entire life. People are meant to change. They're meant to have their viewpoints changed. They're meant to have their lives changed. Like, you can't rely on one viewpoint your entire life. And I think that it's not realistic to say that the way I think now is the way I'll think in 20 years. Like, I know I'm young and naive. And I think that's an advantage to me. Like, I can use that to plan later in life and avoid certain hurdles that I might face otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think, and I don't know, that you brought up a question. It was like, is this going to be a positive thing in my life in 12 or whatever, a decade?
Yeah.
And I've never thought about that. Like, I've never thought, is this how I want to be in the future? Like, is this action going to affect me? And not in like, I don't know. It's very, again, it's just very interesting to hear the both sides.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It's sometimes hard for me to live in the moment because I'm too busy thinking about the big picture.
Yeah.
And thinking about the big picture is so overwhelming that I sometimes have to like numb myself from thinking about the big picture because it's so overwhelming. And I hate unknowns. You know, it's like I want to know what's happening. I want to know what's going to happen. You know me, I fucking hate change.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but like you said, we're always changing.
Exactly. It's unavoidable. It's just something you have to get comfortable with. But
or find something to make you comfortable with it.
Yeah. Or someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like to sleep on different places in my house. Like sleep on the couch, sleep on a few different couches, sleep on different beds, stuff like that. Like downstairs, upstairs, whatever. Because I don't like to wake up to the same place every day. You know what I mean? And that's like super tiny and minuscule, but like I feel like I feed on the possibility of something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the idea that stuff is going to change and you don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And the unknowns. Like I don't want to say I love unknowns because everybody fucking hates it sometimes.
Yeah.
When my dad died, I was not expecting that. You know, that was an unknown thing. But in the end, like, shit just happens. And there's nothing you can do about it.
No control.
Yeah. You can never... I feel like everybody, and of course, naive 21-year-old.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, especially people our age, everybody's just... A lot of people try to grab onto something, metaphorically.
Yeah.
You know, like they want to have...
Stability.
And even myself sometimes. Yeah.
Everyone craves stability.
Yeah.
And some people manifest that differently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like if you... And I haven't done this fully yet, but if you let go, like... You just let everything come to you and you see it and you're like, okay, that happened. Okay, good. I understand. I respect it. Now goodbye.
Yeah. I think it's really the key to just being a sane person.
Yeah.
I think that I personally struggle with like balance in life. I don't know if that's like a general trend with people our age or people in general or just me maybe, but it's just being able to monitor yourself and be willing to accept when you're falling short of what you know you want to be. Like, and I experience that a lot where it's like, I know I could be doing better. And sometimes I choose to push myself and sometimes I don't. And oftentimes I regret when I don't. But at least I'm proud of when I get my ass up and do something about it.
Yeah.
Like editing this podcast, which is a joy once you get started, but it's overwhelming when you just look at all the files and whatever.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
like, oh, I gotta edit this fucking podcast.
I mean,
But then
same
you get
with
into
everything.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know me, like once you convince me to do something and I start enjoying it, I love it.
Yeah.
But taking that first step is just the hardest part. So,
I agree.
yeah.
I was gonna say something, but it's completely gone.
I miss living with you, buddy. It's sure we might be in a dingy old basement, but
It'll be cool. I
it's
think
gonna be
it'll
lit. It's gonna be tight.
It'll be very cool.
I'm hyped about it.
Yeah.
I'm just hyped to be able to say, Gabe.
And I say, yeah.
And I say
What's poppin'?
something inane like, how about them Tigers?
Nope. Never.
Never. I don't give a shit about baseball.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Well, I'm
one
gonna.
crazy world we live in. Gabe wants to stop recording.
I do.
I could do it all night, but you know what?
I mean, I'm just gonna talk off mic. You know.
That's true. We're gonna have deep conversations about life and its meaning. And
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. It is. I don't even want to say what time it is. It's 3:33 in
It's
the morning.
3 something in the morning.
3:33.
3:33 in the morning. We
Our
the
good friend Cricket is here signing
Yep.
us off.
Rickety Cricket just sending us off. And
Yeah.
really appreciate you listening. Sorry if this is a kind of a downer episode, but you know what? It was needed.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed recording it. It's very few times that you get a real raw interview.
Raw dogging it.
Raw dogging. We're just raw dogging this podcast,
Rogging
Gabe.
it. We're rogging it.
Rogging this podcast.
Okay, goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Thank
We
you.
love you. Thanks for listening. See you soon, hopefully.